Welcome in, everybody. It's the coach, and you're tuned in to Madden 19 on EA Sports. We are moments away from kickoff, and we've got a good one on tap between the Carolina Panthers and the New York Giants. With that, let's get up to MedLife Stadium in New Jersey. Standing by for the call, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, we welcome everybody to the Garden State. EA Sports coverage of the NFL finds us at MedLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. This is the scene just before we came on air. This New York crowd fired up by the arrival of their G-men as they burst from the locker room. They're ready to go as the Giants get set to match up with Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And before kickoff, Charles, quickly your keys to the game.
Well, partner, I could give you the standard ones, turnovers, special teams play. But here's one that doesn't get talked about much anymore, and that's time of possession. Whoever controls the football, gives their defense a break, and takes care of business, that's the team that's going to win this ball game.
And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here are the Panthers now for their opening drive. And they'll be led out by the NFL's most valuable player from 2015. It's Cam Newton.
And when he's at the top of his game, you see that big smile. That's when you know everything is clicking. That means he's accurate throwing the football. They can't get him down in the run game, and his team is having a whole lot of fun because when they score a touchdown, some fan's going to get lucky and get the game ball.
Here we go, fellas. That's it. 180.
Here's Christian McCaffrey. His pops was a Giant for 3 years. And he'll get this one up to the 26. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. When we look at this unit like we are now, Greg Olsen has become such a reliable target in this league.
Loves to be considered the #1 option in the passing game in the offense he plays, and he lives up to it. Knows the defense is set for him, knows how to beat them.
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26.
Set. 180.
To throw on 2nd down is Newton. Over the middle, and it's incomplete. Greg Olsen was the intended target, and that'll make it 3rd down. Partner, your thoughts on this D-line?
I love a unit that can control the run and get after the passer. This is an all-around terrific defensive front. Hard to move the ball against them on the ground, and then when you want to throw it, look out. Here they come after the quarterback.
So trouble already here on their opening drive. This is 3rd and 9. Out of the gun, Newton. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It's way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
So on 4th down, kicking it away here, Michael Pilardi. Officially, that'll go as a 52-yard punt. Not too shabby. And it'll be Giant football 1st and 10. So here are the Giants ready to start their initial drive of the game. They'll be led out by the veteran quarterback, a multiple-time Pro Bowler. It's, of course, Eli Manning.
An extremely durable player, had 210 consecutive starts in the NFL before missing one in 2017. And when you have to deal with him in the playoffs and a Super Bowl's on the line, Eli Manning's at the top of his game.
Manning and the Giants come up now 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. On the ground, this is Saquon Barkley. And he'll wind up with about 6 up past the 30 to the 31.
All right, Brandon, I know we're in the early going here, but those kind of runs, They're going to open up a world of opportunities for this offense going forward.
On second down, here's Barkley. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a third down.
Came out in a power set, but that only served to put more men in the box. And guess what? If you're going to do that, you've got to win up front, right? Your offensive guys have got to beat the defenders. They lost all leverage on that play.
To throw, it's Manning. He's going to go for a big play. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. And he will take it on in for a giant touchdown. Odell Beckham, 70 yards. And the Giants are going to take a first-quarter lead. So on third and medium, they dial up the pass, and it works to hit the end zone.
And it's really not a surprise to me. That's a throwing down in the NFL because of how tough it is to run the football. But what offenses like to do is still show run formations to make them respect it and throw out of those. In this case, they took a nice shot at the end zone and made it pay off.
Aldrich Rosas on for the extra point. PAT up and good by Rosas. And it's now a 7-0 game. So a 75-yard scoring drive on just 3 plays. And it was finished off by a touchdown by the New York Giants. Rosas now to kick this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And the Panthers coming out now. They punted last time they had it. What steps, Charles, do you think they have to take to make sure they don't do that again?
Well, let's just go to the football 101, the trade expression 101. Win first down. Make 5, 6, 7 yards on first down and make it a 2nd and 3, 2nd and manageable. Keep accumulating first downs that way. Keep moving the football. You don't want to get behind the sticks because then the defense has the advantage.
So Newton and the Panthers come up now 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. The drive begins with a run by McCaffrey, and he'll get this one up to the 26. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. Here's Newton now on 2nd down. And he will find the open man. It's DJ Moore. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
I do have to admit, I like it when it all comes together. When the top part, catching the football, right, whether you're catching it with your hands or cradling it, comes together with the legs, in this case the feet, doing a little toe tap to stay in bounds and complete the catch.
And a great job by our crew on the camera shot. Love when you see the grass or on the field turf, those rubber pellets flying up. Great catch. And that is incomplete.
I think the punter might start to get into a pretty good rhythm here if he keeps getting opportunities. But that's the last thing his team wants to have happen, right? The last thing you want to see is your punter feeling pretty good because he's out there all the time.
Yeah, first quarter only, but they're 0 for 2 on 3rd down conversions to start this thing. Pilardi now on to punt as he sends this one away. That'll be a 47-yard punt, officially 5 on the return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Now out come the Giants. Now they'll be looking to duplicate the efforts of drive number 1 that resulted in 7 points in the 7-zip lead.
Well, you know how much I enjoy horse racing, right? Looks like they caught a flyer out of the gate, as they would say when you're running the big-time races. Means they get out to a fast start. They're setting the pace, making the other team chase now.
Manning and the Giants come up now 1st and 10 at their own 23. They'll start out on the ground. It's Saquon Barkley. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Tackle made by K'Wan Short. And the Buffet boys, the O-line. Hopefully they're ready today.
Listen, you got to feed them first. But if you do, you usually get a great product out on the field. And when they play well, the quarterback can't wait to feed them afterwards.
Manning to throw on 2nd down. Throw left side, complete to Ingram. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. And the big meat on the D-line. We'll see how they do today.
And I'd hate to be an offensive lineman having to deal with these guys. They come in hungry, mean, and confident. They think that no one can block them.
Now they'll try to convert on 3rd and 6 after the 4-yard completion. From the gun, it's Manning. He finds Beckham, complete. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Now a first carry for Jonathan Stewart. And able to get a couple as he's across the 40 to the 41.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held them to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
On 2nd down, here's Manning. Unable to corral him. He fights through. He'll complete this to Ingram as tight end. They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues.
I know exactly what's going to be said about that play from the defensive perspective.
What's that?
That's why I tell all you guys we need more than one tackler to the ball. He broke the first tackle. Luckily enough, there were more people there to get him down.
So from Panther territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. Now Manning. It's hauled in by Shepard. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
Second and 5 after the 5-yard completion on 1st down. Working from the gun. Manning to Barkley on the check down. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 47. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down. Really good defensive effort. They were all over that little swing pass out to the right side before lost yardage.
Terrific read, better execution, and done with a lot of enthusiasm, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
They saw it all the way, ran to the football, and caused a nice play for lost yardage.
Seventh play of the drive forthcoming on 3rd and 8. Now Manning again. And that is incomplete. Fourth down, so on is the punter, Riley Dixon. The Panthers offense here, they get ready to head back on the field. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on 3rd down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a 1st down and change our momentum?
So Newton and the Panthers come up now 1st and 10 at their own 27. Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against?
Neutral zone infraction, defense.
So they got him coming up from his linebacker spot.
And sometimes the position designation really doesn't matter. If you creep up to the line of scrimmage, you just have to look for the football. Make sure it moves before you do.
A boost here to start the drive. After the penalty, it's 1st and 5. McCaffrey following the penalty. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well.
Now that's the way to do it. Hand it to someone with vision and good footwork, and add in a little bit of power, and you find a way to pick up 1st downs.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Back to the ground on 1st. It's McCaffrey. And getting this just shy of midfield. They'll spot it at the 49. Give them 11 yards that time and a new set of downs.
How many times do we say in this game that speed kills, and it does it in so many different ways? In this case, you got a back who's quick and shifty, can make moves, make people miss, but also gets to and through a hole before it can close down. That's some of the benefits of that speed, not just outrunning people in the secondary, and that led to a really nice gain.
Newton on 1st down. This is caught. It's Greg Olsen. And he'll get it down here to the 43. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the 1st down completion.
Nice rhythm throw there on 1st down. He located his tight end, made a nice easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he can break a tackle or two. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage. Counting down toward the midway point in quarter 1. On 2nd down, McCaffrey. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving.
Yeah, they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last 2 possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them, providing a nice pickup there to keep this drive going.
Here we go, fellas. Set. 180. I get it.
Now Newton on first down. This one complete to Devin Funchess. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs.
He wasn't ready. He wasn't ready. Ready. 780.
On first and 10, Newton. Oh, he got position on him, and he pulls it in. Great mix of play calling so far. 3 runs, 3 passes. All 3 passes have been completions. First and goal.
I think on defense now, you have to almost take a chance. Rely on your scouting, pick a play you think they would run here, and just load up for it and see what happens.
The first red zone opportunity for the Panthers thus far. They've got a first and goal from the 10-yard line.
Set. 180.
They'll try to run with McCaffrey. That's going to go as a loss of 6, and it'll set them back for second down.
The short field shrinks even more with the type of bodies they brought in on that play. Those extra tight ends, they weren't able to secure their blocks, and that one ended up going backwards.
First down, a bit of a disaster, and now on second and goal, back even further. They'll give it to him up the middle. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and that'll make it third and goal.
His path became similar to almost running a stretch play, didn't it? Trying to find a crease, anywhere to put his foot in the ground and cut back. It just never materialized.
An extra defensive back on the field here for third and goal. Now Newton. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked off by Landon Collins. Down the numbers. There he goes. He's at the 40. Past the 20. 10. And he will score. Touchdown, Giants. And this defense looking like they have come to play the pick 6, and just like that, it's 13-0 early on.
Well, go back with me to our training camp visits. What do we hear during these drills? Pass. Ball's in the air.
And then my favorite.
Oski. That's the interception. That means everybody finds someone to block them legally, stay on your feet, and they get it done. Touchdown.
Rosas to add the extra point. Rosas good with the extra point, and it's now 14-0. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick six. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here are the Panthers now as their offense comes back out onto the field. And last time, decent field position through the pick six. Obviously costly.
But they can't afford to just bunker in now. All right, good field position means go ahead and attack on offense. Try and press the advantage a little bit. They just have to be better with the football on this possession.
So that didn't bother you too much last time?
No, because it's exactly what you're supposed to do. You can't have good field position and not try to take advantage of it. Sometimes the defense makes a good play, too.
Now the former Oregon man, this is Kenyon Barner. Some fancy footwork, but not much room to operate. Just up past the 25 and no further. Alec Ogletree in on the stop.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
On second down, here's Newton. Over the middle and into the hands of his receiver Moore. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. He got 18 yards out of that one, and it gets him a new set of downs. And just a small glimpse there as to why they like this rookie so much.
And that's why they lit up a little bit in our meetings with the coaching staff, didn't they?
Yeah, when we talked about him, they did.
Yeah, you know, they like his work ethic. You know, this guy's running every route well in the route tree and getting better at it all the time, really honing his game. They expect a pretty good jump out of him as things continue to move on.
On first down, this is McCaffrey. Oh, nice move at midfield. And he's going to get this past the 50 and into Giant territory. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4. Getting the sense, Charles, are going to put a big emphasis this afternoon on the run game.
And why not? What we're seeing so far, working pretty well from them. And here's the best part. We always talk about the best performers do their job when the lights come on. I think he likes natural light best.
Now whistles. Flag down, and I believe one of the Panthers got moving early.
False start, offense.
The false start hurts him there a bit. Backs him up to 2nd and 9. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. 5 yards on the pickup, and they're going to face a 3rd down.
I think we can safely say that those types of plays are the backbone of this offense. We know not every run's going to be a big hitter, but you know they'll take that type of result on each and every attempt.
The Panthers on 3rd down. 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd and 4. A shotgun snap for Newton. And incomplete on the deep ball.
I'm not sure we could spot any tendency here on this 3rd down. They could have run it or passed it. Either one was available. They chose to try and get it through the air, but they run successful.
Here's Michael Pilardi now as he's on to punt for Carolina. And he's getting a workout here in this first quarter as he gets it away. Here's the Giant offense now as they get ready to take over here.
Well, they're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of first downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 first downs and make sure you move the ball into their territory.
They begin with a run by Barkley. And he's going to take this up past the 10 to about the 11. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain considering the blitz that they just had against them.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll take this one only up to about his 13-yard line. Tackle made there by Mike Adams, a strong safety.
The Giants on third down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 3.
Shotgun now for Manning. And this is going to be incomplete. Knocking it away in coverage, Captain Mutterland.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
Here's Riley Dixon now, standing about a yard deep in his own end zone. Taken from just outside the 30. A big boot that time, 57 yards the official distance. And the Panthers will take over now, 1st and 10. And onto the field, here come the Panthers. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
So Newton and the Panthers come up now 1st and 10 at their own 37. They start on the ground with McCaffrey. Oh, able to avoid him. And he takes this up right near the 45-yard line. A good run there on 1st down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2. Well, you're down early. How do you get back in the game, maybe establish the run? I think they're trying to do that.
Now, I'm with you on that one, and what I like about the message is that there's no panic from the head coach. He's already told his offensive coordinator, let's run the football, let's get things settled down a little bit and find our way back into this game.
So the offense a little antsy. The flag comes out and a 5-yard penalty.
False start, offense.
Now after the false start, here's 2nd and 7. McCaffrey on the counter, and he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
Brandon, one thing about blitzes, they really confuse offensive linemen at times, and what you have to do is lock in on the guy right in front of you. If you don't, you saw the end result. Defensive tackle ended up making the play.
The Panthers on 3rd down. Not good. 0 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 8.
From the gun, here's Newton. And he finds a man. It's Olsen. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. They call it a gain of 19, and it moves the chains. And there they went crossing route against the zone defense. What do you think of that?
Takes real coordination between the passer and the receiver because you've got to read those zones and where the open spots are and be on the same page with the guy throwing the football. Because sometimes you're throwing it in front of the zone. Sometimes you're throwing it between the zones. Sometimes the receiver's going to just kind of find a spot and what we call sit down and present himself to the quarterback and throw it there. It's a tough read, but when they're in sync, it's really effective.
And before they can run another play, the clock hits triple zeros. And time is up on the first quarter. 14-0 is our score. Back to MetLife Stadium in just a moment.
The NFL on EA Sports is fueled by Gatorade, the sports fuel company.
With my good friend Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin with you. It's the Panthers in possession of the football as we begin quarter number 2. And they've got it here with a first down. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Now a play fake here on first down. Funches with a catch over the middle. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. A good pickup there, a 22. Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height, sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively, doesn't it?
It really does because your goal is to move the quarterback off his initial spot when he gets his drop back completed. But when you have that type of height, he can stay in there if he's willing to take the hits and just fire over the top, which saves him time and actually completes a play a little bit quicker than it normally does for a quarterback who has to slide and find open space to throw.
Newton going to hand it off to McCaffrey. He takes this to the 15. A flashy juke. That got him a couple extra yards. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, got to like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a first down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
Now here's a whistle as flags come in. And we'll check out the call.
False start, offense.
The false start hurts him there a bit. Backs him up to 2nd and 9. Back to throw, Newton. They'll set up the screen to McCaffrey, and he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. Only a yard there, sniffed out well defensively, and it brings up 3rd. This drive, it's been a good mix. 3 passing plays, 3 runs, hitting on all 3 of those passes, and the last one putting him in the red zone.
So wouldn't you think play action right here? Because you've got the ability and had the ability to run it and throw it. Go play action and take your shot at the end zone.
The Panthers on 3rd down. Just 1 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 8. Out of the gun, Newton. And that is incomplete.
I know our vantage point might be a little bit better way up here, but that looked like an ill-advised throw to me. I didn't see anything open, and this play just didn't look right from the beginning.
It did not. I thought he might get outside and just chuck it away. Dangerous pass, incomplete. And Gano's kick is right through. And they will get themselves on the board here at 14-3. So the drive stalls out inside the 15-yard line, but they do get 3.
And I've talked with enough players nowadays, and when they have these types of kicks, that no one says to their guy, hey, that's just like making an extra point, piece of cake. Because the extra point is not a piece of cake anymore. But kicking a field goal from that distance, just give him confidence and let him knock it through.
Now after the made field goal, Catanzaro to boot this one away on the kickoff. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here's the Giant offense now making their way back out onto the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Manning and the Giants come up now 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Operating from the gun. Manning over the middle. He's got his tight end Ingram. And nothing but green grass here, middle of the field. Touchdown, Giants. Evan Ingram, 75 yards. And the Giants are able to grow their lead. Charles, that was a heck of a play.
It truly was, because when he made that catch, he had to shake through some people, right? So that play, to me, a highlight film that should be accompanied by bass music, right? I mean, boom, 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 and he finds his way to the end zone. Terrific play.
Rosas now to add the PAT. PAT up and good by Rosas. And the lead is up to 18 now. One of the shortest drives you'll ever see. One play, 75 yards, 6 points. Rosas now to kick this one away. On the return, it's Kenyon Barner. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. You can count his carries on one finger. They've only given him the rock one time, Charles. What gives?
So we can't draw any conclusions just yet. He has to touch the ball multiple times in order to get into a rhythm and have a chance to have success. You know who else gets into a rhythm? The offensive line. They feel better about what they're doing when they know they've had multiple opportunities to get it done.
Yeah, well, the conclusion we can draw so far, they're losing here in the second quarter. Let's see if they change tunes. This is McCaffrey on the give. And able to stay on his feet past the 30 to about the 33-yard line. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on second and short.
That was a good run, and it got to the second level. And what I mean by that is that's where the linebackers usually play. First level being the defensive front, last level being the secondary. But the strong safety position ended up making the tackle, and oftentimes we call them a hybrid. Combination defensive back, combination linebacker. We saw the linebacker make the stop.
Now whistles. Flag down, and I believe one of the Panthers got moving early.
False start, offense.
Now after the false start, here's 2nd and 7. Here's Newton. To the right side, and he's got more complete. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. Third catch of this first half for him, and this one is a first down.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, tight, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. They go play action here on first down. And to the tight end, Olsen, right side. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
Nice play call, a little bit of play action right there. If you can get those linebackers to freeze for just a split second, that's usually all the room you need in order to get it to your tight end.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Now whistles. Flag down, and I believe one of the Panthers got moving early.
False start, offense.
Now after the false start, here's 2nd and 7. They'll run it now out of the gun. And not much there at all. Maybe a yard up to the 43.
Well, if the coaching staff's doing a good job upstairs, they'll file away what they just saw from the defense right there. They sold out to stop that running play. I'd say keep that in mind. They want to try that again. Go play action, hit them over the top.
The Panthers on third down. They've had their troubles. Just 1 for 6. This will be 3rd and 6. From the gun, Newton. And caught left side, Olsen. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. Newton to Olsen there for a Carolina first down.
There's a completion to the tight end, and I think that we're looking at something out of central casting, frankly.
Absolutely. He's got the size, the hands.
The speed. Can flat out run. You put that whole package together, you light up the eyes of an offensive coordinator, don't you?
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. They'll run. It's Barner. And he'll bring this one inside the 35. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards. And it's 2nd and 2.
So much of the game today, we're looking for hybrid players, guys who can do a combination of jobs. And anyone who plays a strong safety position, now more than ever, is a hybrid type player. Half defensive back that covers passes and half linebacker that makes tackles. We just saw the linebacker make that play.
Now whistles. Flag down, and I believe one of the Panthers got moving early.
False start, offense.
Yeah, maybe they were coming with a blitz that time, and it caused a jump.
I think if we saw it, you know that they saw it. Might have been a little discussion down there. Bad guys coming. Pick them up. Pick them up. And someone jumped.
Now after the false start, here's 2nd and 7. Operating from the gun. Newton. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Anytime a ball's thrown in the middle of the field, it's popped up in the air, I expect someone to catch. It doesn't matter whether it's offense or defense because there's usually a great amount of bodies in that part of the field. In this case, no one came up with it.
The Panthers on third down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. This is 3rd and 7.
That's it, buddy. Look at it.
From the gun, Newton. The open man is Smith. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. First time they've hooked up here. Good for 17 and a first down.
They hit that crossing route really well. Excellent timing, puts it right on him, and he keeps running.
Yeah, turned it upfield for good yardage. Now a first down throw for Newton. Quick slant, caught by Moore. And he will be brought down at about the 6-yard line. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down. And, boy, they had high praise for this rookie receiver when we asked the coaches about him, didn't they?
They certainly did, and obviously they liked his measurables. Otherwise, they wouldn't have brought him onto the team. Height, weight, speed, all of that. But how about what they really said? Competitiveness. That's what they really liked about him. The way he goes after the football, competes for it, and decides when it's in the air, it's his and only his.
2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. Newton throwing again. Buying time, and he is going to go down. Back at the 11-yard line. Kareem Martin in there to get him for a loss of 5.
Well, there's still time to rectify this situation because the silver lining, it took a sack on 1st and goal. But that close to the goal line, that still definitely hurts.
They'll try again on 2nd and goal after going backwards to the 12.
Set. Like 80.
This is Newton off the play fake to McCaffrey. Thomas has got it. Complete. And able to break 1 tackle, but then quickly brought down. Only able to pick up 2, and that leads us to 3rd and goal.
That was an okay hook up there with his tight end, but unfortunately, they didn't get the kind of yards they had hoped for. That's going to bring up 3rd down.
This has been a long drive. You got to figure a field goal would be a letdown. Can they convert now on 3rd and goal? Operating from the gun, Newton. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
So out comes a field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. From the right hash, and this one just a chippy. And Godot's kick is right through. And high fives for that one as that drive ends in 3. So another good job defensively because they've allowed 3 trips into the red zone, but only the 2 field goals.
Yeah, that's the bend but don't break, isn't it? And they really didn't get broken at all because if you're running off the field having allowed 2 field goals and 3 trips in the red zone, you've actually come out ahead.
Yeah, flip it over to the other side. The offense, they'll hope to cash in for 6 next trip. Now after the made field goal, Catanzaro to boot this one away on the kickoff. That's fielded in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. The Giants offense now gets ready to head back onto the field. And following that long touchdown pass, a one-play drive last time, let's see if the defense, you know they're ready. They don't want that to happen again.
And you would have thought they would have been ready the last time. That's what you work on all the time. Make sure that no one gets behind you. That's the cardinal sin of defense, not giving up the long pass. They did. Let's see how they adjust.
Manning and the Giants come up now 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll take this up near the 35, maybe the 34. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1.
And after that type of a run, there's some talking going on down on the field, but it's not trash talking. The guy who just carried the ball, he's going back and telling his offensive line, great job, keep it up, and we'll break that one soon.
Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34. On 2nd down, here's Manning. To Barkley on the check down. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
That was well defended, and while it was a completion, it resulted in a loss of yardage. It's really, really hard for a running back to think to himself, I probably should have just dropped it and saved the yardage. It goes against the entire training that he's had his whole career.
The Giants on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This time it's 3rd and 3. Working from the gun, Manning. A battle for it, and it's intercepted. Picked up by James Bradbury. And his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line.
That was a really nice interception. I think it illustrates the differences between playing man and playing zone. When you're in man, all you're focused on is the receiver in front of you. But when you're in zone, you're allowed to read the quarterback's eyes and go to the ball. That's exactly what happened on that play.
Out comes Christian McCaffrey with the rest of the offense. And I'm wondering if maybe they don't go away from him on this drive a little bit. He's been great, but they haven't scored a lot of points.
I think they still have to show him as a threat. Make sure he touches it a few times, but as you pointed out, use him as a decoy a little bit and get the ball in the hands of some other people in order to put more points on the board. But he's done a really nice job of establishing them with his running.
Yeah, he's established himself well. Now can they put more points up? So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Now following the interception, here's Newton. Caught left side by Funchess. And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
False start, offense.
Maybe anticipating a blitz, and they jumped.
Yeah, and if we saw it, you know that they saw it. The bad guys might have been coming on that play. Had to pick them up, and they jumped.
They were looking good on 2nd down, but now they're backed up 5 yards by the false start, and it's 2nd and 8. They'll give it up to McCaffrey. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Tackle made that time by Dalvin Tomlinson.
But he was stopped on that play. But he's had plenty of carries all afternoon. Every now and then the defense is going to win one, but I don't think they'll shy away from handing it to him the rest of the game.
The Panthers on 3rd down. They've converted a third of their opportunities, 3 for 9. This is 3rd and 9. From the gun, Newton. And he gets it to Funchess complete. Newton finding Funchess for the Panther first down.
And the key number on that play, 3. Third play of the drive, third down, spectacular catch, turns into a first down.
First down saves them from a 3-and-out. Newton now closing in on a 200-yard first half through the air. It's 1st and 10. Now whistles. Flag down, and I believe one of the Panthers got moving early.
False start, offense.
A false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. Newton now to throw. And he's taken down, trying to do a little too much, getting outside of the pocket, and it results in a sack. Kareem Martin in there to get him his second sack now of the afternoon.
No doubt that's a very good play defensively right there, because you've always got to be aware that he can take off and make a big play with his legs. How about the way they were able to contain him? That also tells me the coverage was excellent downfield.
Under 4 to go now as the clock runs and they come up on 2nd down. Here's McCaffrey. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. 5 yards on the pickup, and they'll be facing a 3rd and 12.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
A 3rd field goal of the first half, not what they're looking for as they come up on 3rd down. Throwing on 3rd down, Newton. And this is going to be incomplete. So now here comes the field goal team for the 3rd time today. On the right hash, it's a 43-yard attempt. And Gano's kick is right through. And the drive will wind up yielding 3. So he remains perfect, 3 for 3 in the field goal department.
And it's so important for any offense to have an ace like him up their sleeve, isn't it? Because now you know what his range is, and as soon as your offense gets there, you're pretty much counting on 3 points going up on the board.
Now after the made field goal, Catanzaro to boot this one away on the kickoff. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The offense takes the field, and we turn our attention to Saquon Barkley. It's the 2nd quarter. His team has the lead, but I think he's hoping for a little bit more production out of himself.
And we often talk about preaching patience to a runner when things are a little bumpy in the early going. But we have to do the same thing with the offensive line. They can't wait to halftime to make the adjustments. They have to do it from series to series so those surface tablets come into play. Check out what the defense is doing and see if they can find a better way to run it.
So they search for that patience here now. They start on the ground. This is Stewart on first. And he'll do a nice job here just to fight his way back to the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. Boy, that's a lot of sirloin steak to be taken down for no gain, partner.
Are you trying to suggest that he is a huge man?
He is
not just a big man, a huge man.
Big boy.
Well, how about the credit then for the defense to be able to chop that big tree and put him on the ground?
I know back when you played, it took 4 of you to take a guy like that down, right?
Well, that's for sure. And then you know what else? I didn't want to challenge him at dinner either.
And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of the yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now a play fake. Manning. And his throw here is incomplete. Evan Ingram was the intended target, and it's 2nd down. Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 35. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's got it up over the 40 to the 41. They get 6 here after the incompletion, and it'll leave them with a 3rd and 4. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. We're back to East Rutherford, but first this timeout. A reminder that when halftime rolls around, Jonathan Coachman will have all the highlights and analysis of this first half of play from our studios in Orlando. The Giants on 3rd down, 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 4. From the gun, it's Manning. He dumps it off to Barkley. So he got free of 1 tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. And now we get a timeout called on the defensive side of the ball by the Panthers. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. So a defensive timeout, chance to regather, regroup, and get set as we resume action. Here's Riley Dixon now as he's on to punt for New York. Panthers now set to take over on offense. And after the field goal last time, let's see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
On 1st down, Newton. They'll drop it off to McCaffrey. And they'll get him down up past the 15. Give him 10 yards there, and about by the nose of the football, he's going to have a 1st down. And now with that completion, he's north of 200 yards here in the first half.
And he's going to break our statistician, Marvin, isn't he? Because Marvin right now is just tallying it up. Hope his hand doesn't hurt too much doing this or keeps hitting the calculator. But my goodness, what a start he is off to. By the end of this game, he could have monster numbers. He just wants to continue to be accurate.
Newton now over 200 yards already in this first half. It's 1st and 10. From the gun, here's Newton. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. He was looking for Jarius Wright that time. And now it's second down.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
Second and 10, Newton again. And they get to Newton and take him down for the sack. Now the Giants will stop play as they take a timeout defensively, as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. The defense, they got a little bit of a breather. Now they're back and set as we resume play. So now Cam leads the Panthers up following the sack. Carolina facing third and long. On the ground, McCaffrey. And he's going to be taken down right at about the 15-yard line. And now the Giants, they get the officials' attention and take another timeout, as they'll stop it with a tick under a minute to go before half. So the defense had a chance to catch their breath, and now they're back out and ready. Here's Michael Pilardi now, standing just about on his own goal line. He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. This is fielded at the 27. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And possession will switch hands, first and 10. Eli Manning and company getting set here as they head back onto the field. And he's looked pretty good. Does have the one interception, but 2 touchdown passes so far. Your analysis?
They'll take the offset. When you talk about throwing 2 touchdown passes, no one wants to see an interception thrown, but those things happen in the course of a ball game and over the course of a season. But throwing 2 touchdown passes, that's why the team has an advantage. That's what they're looking for more of.
He'll be hoping to make it a 3-to-1 ratio here in the second quarter. Manning now on first down. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Shepard. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. That's a good way to start the drive. 17 yards and a first down. On first down, Manning finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. Give him 3 on the play, and that'll make it a second down. And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the second quarter. And we are back here. I'm Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. So the offense takes a timeout, and now we're set to get going. So with 2 ticks left here in the half, on is the field goal unit. This from 54 yards away. That's leaking to the right, and he missed it by a foot or two. It's no good. So we've reached halftime here at MetLife Stadium with the Giants out in front. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
In our game, it's been the play of Eli Manning that's been the story so far. He's thrown for close to 200 yards already, and that's helped propel his guys into the lead. As we send you back to Brandon Gaudin.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Second half ready to get rolling. The Giants with a lead, and they are set to receive this kick. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. The Giants offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. Manning and the Giants come up now 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. Manning going to throw. Throw left side complete. That's Shepard. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down. And never good on a pass completion there to go the wrong way. Lost yardage.
No, for some reason it seems to work better when you throw it downfield or you can move the ball downfield running it that way, doesn't it? But in this case, if you're the defensive guys, you're energized, executed well, and you caused a lost yardage play. That's going to feel good and look great in film.
2nd and 12 after the first down pass play went backwards for 2 yards. On play action, now Manning. And bringing it in right side here, Beckham. And they work this well upfield across the 45. That, I believe, will put him over 100 yards receiving for the game. Yes, it will. And he's got a first down to boot.
Well, that's the kickstarter right there. Eli Manning finding his guy, Odell Beckham Jr.
Yeah, it's a deadly combination, isn't it?
It really is, but what really makes it work is just how unflappable Eli is with his demeanor, able to maintain his calm and his poise, because we know OBJ, he can run pretty hot and get excited out there.
Sometimes just one-handed grabs for him.
It doesn't matter what it is. Just throw it up there. He'll go get it.
Manning now on first down. And his pass incomplete.
When I watched that play, I thought about what my coaches had told me in the past. The biggest teaching point, get your head around. Locate the football so you can make a play on it while it's in the air. That's exactly what he did there. That was nice.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. To throw again. Manning. And they're not able to hook up there. Incomplete. Knocking it away in coverage, Captain Mutterland.
This defense could use some more of these types of plays. How about him reading it, driving on the football, and he's right there for the pass breakup.
The Giants on third down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. Now Manning again. It's caught. Shepard. That one goes for 24 yards. Whatever the discussions were at halftime to try to slow down this offense, it has not worked to this point.
Yeah, I have a vision right now of everything that was discussed at the half just being torn in shreds or being erased off of the Microsoft Surface tablets because none of it is working. They are really locked in on offense.
Manning now 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. Again, it's Manning. Over the middle to Beckham. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask.
Personal foul, face mask, defense.
Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the
First down.
conversation post because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
After the penalty, a fresh set of downs. It's 1st and 10. Manning to throw once more. They'll set up the screen to Barkley. And here he'll get it down to the 7. They'll get 4 there out of the screen, and it's 2nd down.
In order for a screen pass to break big, a lot of things have to come together and be well executed, but all it takes is one small thing to go wrong and keep it from being a big game.
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. A handoff to Barkley. And that'll move him a little closer as he takes it from the 7 down to the 4-yard line.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the 2nd level.
The Giants on 3rd down. 3 for 7 so far in this game. This time they face a 3rd and 2. They'll come out in the pistol. Manning looking to throw on 3rd and 2. And he will take it on in for a Giant touchdown. Eli Manning with his 3rd touchdown pass of the afternoon. And the Giants add on to their lead.
That drive that really increased their cushion felt very military to me. Very precise, methodical. That's one of the words you've taught me. And they just got it done.
And slowly but surely now starting to pull away a little bit. Things looking good for them here in the 3rd quarter.
Not only pulling away, but you mentioned that slowly but surely. You also drain clock, too, with a drive like that. So you really give yourself an advantage.
Rosas good with the extra point. And that will make this a 19-point game. So that drive goes 8 plays. And it was polished off by a Giants touchdown. Rosas now to kick this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. The Panthers offense now, they head back on the field for their first possession of the second half. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
So Newton and the Panthers come up now 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Here's Newton. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete.
Let's face it, if you want to get back into the game, these are the kind of throws you got to hit. He's wide open right there. Got to be able to get it to him, don't you think?
And those are the throws that haven't been available to them every time he's dropped a pass. Yeah, that's a big miss. Line of scrimmage, again, the 25, 2nd and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. The ball's out. McCaffrey lost it. And who's got it? The Giants. Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not even going to tip it. I'm going to doff my cap to him. Congratulations. Big-time play. Knocking it free and creating something good for your team.
And New York set to take the field. It's a quick turnaround for them after the turnover, but the way they moved it on their last drive, they're probably eager to get right back at it.
And you know me and you know my tendencies in this situation. What do I want right now?
Be aggressive.
Be aggressive. Take your shot right here.
So the fumble recovery, and now Manning. Pressure applied, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back at the 33-yard line. Mario Addison in there to get him for a loss of 5. And we say it all the time, have to be able to get rid of the ball sooner than that.
You have to help your offensive line out. They're going to protect you as best they can. And if you're getting 3 to 5 seconds to throw the ball, they're doing a really nice job. But when you hold it and give up a sack, you're really almost discrediting their work.
Got to assume this defense will be charging again here. It's 2nd and 15. Here's a give to Barkley. And an alley to run. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. 14 yards there on the pickup. And that'll bring up a 3rd and 1.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
The Giants on 3rd down. They're at 50%, 4 for 8. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. And they'll let their fullback try and push the pile. And he'll get this down only to the 18. Give him a yard on the play, and he's definitely short. It'll be 4th down and a few inches.
When we talk about Luke Kuechly, you can't talk about his overall game without talking about his intelligence and how he controls the whole defense. He quarterbacks that defense, and at times will actually make checks, just like a quarterback would on offense to get them into the right defense. They definitely were on that play. How about that finish, holding that to a minimal gain?
So out comes a field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. From the right hash, it's a 35-yard attempt. And the kick by Rosas is good. And that will extend their lead now up to 22. So he missed that field goal earlier, but he says not this time. Able to knock it through, give his guys 3.
I like his poise. I like his confidence, his belief in himself. Sometimes when you miss that first one, You'll see a lot of guys sag and they can't make the next one. Not in this case. Stepped right up like a pro.
After the field goal, here's Rosas to kick it away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Carolina getting set to take the field. And the turnover last time, that's sort of been symptomatic of their struggles here in this one.
Big word. I like it, though, because you're exactly right.
You like that, don't you?
All game long, they've struggled moving the ball, turning it over on the last possession. Is that word again, symptomatic?
Yeah.
I like that.
Your analysis, symptomatic of the success of this broadcast.
What I like is that you gave me the word, and I just kept using it.
So Newton and the Panthers come up now 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Here's Newton. Over the middle and into the hands of his receiver Moore. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. That time they hit him out of the slot on the drag.
And that route takes some fortitude from the guy running it because he knows he's going through the briar patch, as I like to call it, right? He's trying to work his way through all that traffic and people wanting to put a little contact on him. Really well done.
Ready? 180. Ready?
This is Newton off the play fake to McCaffrey. And that's going to be incomplete. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Newton on 3rd down. Got him, and it's right. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Call it a gain of 10, and they pick up the first.
And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. And I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the first.
Set. 180.
Newton on 1st down. And this one complete right side to Funchess. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. Give him 9 there on the 1st down completion. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1.
We got 3. We got 30. 180.
They'll run with McCaffrey. And he stopped immediately there. Not enough there for a first. No gain, as a matter of fact. And it leaves them at 3rd and 1. He's fumbled already once, Charles. I'm not going to say that that was in his mind there, but I'm sure that during some of these plays he is mindful of it.
And once you fumble the ball, you know what your team tells you and your coaching staff? Take care of it rest of the game. And it does get in your mind a little bit, and sometimes that slows down your effort in trying to get free from tacklers.
And the defenders know it too. They sniff that out, don't they?
Everybody wants to swarm the football. You know what the rule is. First guy hold up the runner, everyone else try and get there and strip the ball free.
Call it no gain that time, and they're going to be left looking up at a 4th and 1.
That was a terrific job by the defense stopping them on 3rd and short. But sometimes you get some visual cues from the offense because when they're going in short yard situations, you might see the offensive line come in tighter together, a little more shoulder to shoulder, trying to wedge a hole in the middle. They didn't get it done on that play.
Here's Michael Pilardi now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And problems spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the fly, so that'll come back to the 20. Eli Manning getting ready to go again on offense. He's played well. Good first half. He's continued that here in the third quarter. But my question, when you're a head coach, what do you look at stat line-wise for your coach? Do you go right to turnovers?
You really do. As much as coaches don't want to talk about that, that's where it starts. When I played in college, our first rule for every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. And that's kind of how they judge you. Do you take care of the ball, not turn it over, keep it in the proper hands, and give your team a chance to win?
Well, that's what he's done here in this one so far. Looking to get the ground game going with Stewart. And he'll find some space up to about the 25. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
Partner, I think from our experience together, we have learned that most offensive coordinators are going to tell you, if I'm going to run the football on first down, I've got to get at least 4 yards. They got 5 here. They've got to feel pretty good about that one.
Here's a 2nd and 5 now from the 25. Now Manning throwing on 2nd down. Is this intercepted? It is. It's intercepted. Picked off by Captain Mutterland. And he will score. Touchdown, Panthers.
Well, partner, I do know this. If you're a defensive back, you have more chances to make a team now than ever because people are using 5 defensive backs, 6 defensive back packages. Not exclusively, but way more than before. That was a nickel package there, and what a pickoff.
Why is that? Why are they using that more?
Because more people are throwing the ball on earlier downs than ever before. This has become a passing league, and because of that, more defensive backs on the field on most plays.
Ron Rivera didn't get the nickname Riverboat Ron for nothing. His guys are going to go for 2 here. They'll try and run it here. And he's going to go down right at the line of scrimmage. The defense left him with nowhere to go, and the try for 2 is denied.
I know they didn't tack on the 2 points, but I liked their attempt. After the interception return for a touchdown, I was thinking to myself, forget kicking it, go for 2, and they did.
Well, yeah, and everybody's scrambling. Maybe you catch the defense on their heels. They weren't ready to be out there.
Yeah, it's almost like a sudden change, right? There's a turnover, you take it away, they stuck it in the end zone, keep the momentum going. Give credit to the defensive guys for rallying and stopping that 2-point attempt.
So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. And the Giants ready to come out now. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, you feel like you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
Still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
They'll start the drive with a run by Stewart. And he'll get this up over the 25 to the 26. And give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6. Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill up the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on 2nd down.
Now Saquon Barkley. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks.
That's pretty much meat and potatoes right there, wasn't it? Just go right at them and let your big horse charge up the middle. Not too fancy there, was it?
Nothing fancy at all, challenging that defense, and on that go-around, the offense won the challenge. So a solid run by Saquon Barkley, and another 1st and 10 here. On 1st and 10, here's Manning. Quick throw that's complete on the inside slant. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. Back-to-back nice plays, 12 yards that time and a 1st down.
Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I don't think you get much more balance than this. Big-time run, big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Looked pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to take that kind of a punch, though.
From midfield, here's Manning. He's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line.
If you're a selfish player and you're throwing the ball, you're cool with the completion. Maybe not so cool with the yardage loss, though, huh?
Yeah, you went backwards on the yardage. It kind of works like a sack for the defense there.
Yeah, it's a really big play for them, right? Able to figure it out, sniff it out, and finish it off.
The loss of 3 on that 1st down pass play, now 2nd and 13. On the run, it's Barkley. And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 47. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down.
Hey, a lot of points have been scored in this game, but what a nice play by the defense. Stepping up on that one, maybe they'll get things going in their direction after a play like that.
Couple of plays sent them the wrong way, and now they face a 3rd and 14. From the gun, it's Manning. To Shepard, complete over the middle. He's got this to the 30 before being taken down. A pickup of 24 on the 3rd down conversion.
You know I'm going to lean towards the defender, right? You know I'm going to do that.
I know.
That's a tough situation for him as I see it. But the truth of the matter is, that ball was not streaking towards him. Had a little arc on it. He's got to find a way to get his head around and make a play on the football.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. They go play action here on 1st down. That is caught at the 7. And they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2. A very solid gain of 27. And the Giants' all-time leader in passing yards and completions and touchdowns, just another connection.
No doubt about it. That's the Eli Manning we know, pushing the ball downfield and with proficiency.
Two big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. Here's Manning to throw. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Thomas Davis coming hard on the blitz. He dumps him for a loss of 8.
Well, if you're going to throw the ball on 1st and goal from the 2, the worst thing that should result is an incompletion for you offensively. But, Brandon, this is a different type of football. Back in my day, 1st and goal from the 2, a lot of big people with big neck rolls, they were on the field trying to ram it into the end zone.
So they get pushed back to the 11, and here's 2nd and goal. Shotgun now for Manning. And that is caught. He's got it for a giant touchdown. Cody Latimer, an 11-yard touchdown. And the Giants are able to grow their lead.
Well, that's what I call an answer right there. They gave up a sack on the previous play. How about what they did to finish things off, turning it right back around?
That's the response, and that O-line feels a lot better now, don't they?
Yeah, without a doubt, because give up the sack on the previous play, that just hurts those guys because they never want to see their guy get hit.
Rosas to add the extra point. PAT up and good by Rosas. And that pushes the lead up to 23. So that drive consumes 9 plays all told. And it was finished off by a touchdown by the New York Giants. Rosas now to kick this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Carolina getting set to take the field. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut him, all right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But, hey, listen, there's got to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game.
So Newton and the Panthers come up now 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They'll run it now out of the gun. And it'll work his way across the 30 to the 32. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
And that's the kind of run that gets everyone excited on offense. And, you know, oftentimes the guys who carry the ball are the ones in the huddle doing the chirping. Right now, I think it's the offensive line telling them, run it again. We are right there about to break a big one.
They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3. Now Cam, option left. And not much of an opening there as he's only going to get this to about the 32. Only a yard there on the keeper, and that's going to leave him with a 3rd down.
Anytime you decide to use your quarterback as a runner, most of the time when you design a play, you're expected to break a little bit bigger than this one because when you run him on short gains, your risk-reward and him taking hits, I'm not sure that's the payoff they were looking for.
Welcome back now here in East Rutherford. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. And 5 in the secondary now for the Giants on 3rd down. They'll try and pick it up with McCaffrey. Call it no gain there, and it leads to a 4th down. Well, at least he was able to break that initial contact, or it could have been a loss.
Yeah, give credit to the defensive player, though. What did he do? Made him slow down, slow up his feet, and allowed the rest of the guys to get there to finish him off.
They're already slim hopes are going to ride on this one. They'll go on 4th down. They'll run for it. McCaffrey. And he's not even going to come close to picking up the first. They stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Christian McCaffrey unable to get to the marker. And the Giants are going to take over in great field position. Well, at this stage of the game in the second half, down 3 scores, I guess they felt like they needed to push.
And let's face it, with this deficit, if they give up another score here after they didn't get it, does it really matter?
Right.
It really doesn't. They had to go and try and make something happen if they had any chance of winning this game.
The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. Now a play fake here on 1st down. Throw left side, complete to Ingram. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. It'll be a gain of 10 to start the drive out, and by a few inches, that'll be a 1st down. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
Now Stewart on 1st down. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. In on the tackle there, Luke Kuechly. Good gain there on 1st down. It keeps him in a running situation probably.
They did everything right on that play, didn't they? They got the leverage up front, good blocking, nice hole for him, ends up picking up nice yardage, stays in bounds to keep the clock rolling. They are in charge of this scenario right now. They want to stay that way.
And not in any rush offensively. His throw incomplete. They were trying to get it there to Sterling Shepard, and it's 3rd and 5. The Giants on 3rd down. They've hit on half of them, 5 for 10. This will be 3rd and 5. Barkley. So a nice job to break the 1 tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. 3 yards won't be enough here as that'll bring up 4th down.
Well, forget knowing where the 1st down line was. This defense created their own line of scrimmage. They won every battle up front, and a lot of times that is one-on-one. And if you win your one-on-ones enough times, your defense is going to be pretty good. They had more people to the football and snuffed out the play.
Aldrick Rosas now to try the Giants field goal. And Rosas puts this one through. And that will make the lead now 26. So he splits the uprights and has to be a nice feeling. Right when it left his foot, knew it was good.
Yeah, just like a good three-point shooter in basketball, right? Release the ball, fall back on defense without even looking. You know it's going in the hoop.
After the field goal, here's Rosas to kick it away. This one fielded at the 5. And an excellent return there as he's up to the 35 and make it the 40-yard line.
Even after that big-time return, it's not looking great for them today. But if nothing else, even if the miracle doesn't happen, they can turn to this play and say, hey, we can move forward. Maybe it's a building block for the rest of the season.
So Newton and the Panthers come up now 1st and 10 at the 40. Newton now to throw. Escaping the pressure right. Right off the bat, it's a 1st down to start the drive, 12 yards. So an instance there of Cam being Cam. We know he can use his legs.
And with that big body, it's hard to get him down, even if you get a clear shot on him. Plus, he moves it a lot faster than what people think. And boy, does he have fun playing the game of football.
Here we go, set. Set 180. Set hut. Set hut.
On 1st and 10, Newton. And he'll dump this off to his running back, McCaffrey. And he loses the football a second time. And who's got it? The Giants!
And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the fourth quarter.
You'd say an afternoon to forget, absolutely. Here comes the Giants offense back out onto the field. The outcome of this one, well, we know who's going to win it. It's just all window dressing at this point. Got me thinking, what's the biggest blowout that you've been a part of as a player, broadcaster?
No, I'm not going to go to the player part because when I think blowout...
Because you won every game as a player.
No. I think about being blown out. And no one wants to go back to those memories. But, you know, when I was calling college football, I saw a game that... a team put 70. I actually saw it happen twice. A team put 70 on their opponent. And in the NFL, in the 2017 season, I saw one of those changing of the guard games where a team that hadn't been very good before now was dominating and kicking around a team who had been ruling their division.
And that's when you earn your paycheck, right? As the analyst, you got to fill that time.
You've got to know what's going on out there and how it all happened.
Well, obviously, that begs the question, what game was it?
That was Seattle hosting Los Angeles, the Rams.
Yeah.
Their second meeting of the season, and the Rams turned it around from their first one and blew out the Seahawks.
On 2nd down, here's Barkley. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. Just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football in that situation. That's almost a tendency breaker.
They keep it with Barkley on 1st down. And that didn't fool anybody. He's going to be dropped in the backfield. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
Yeah, let me pump out my chest a little bit, even though I'm not rooting for either team. That was a really nice defensive play. It's awfully fun to watch, even in an offensive game.
It's Barkley on the counter. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Tackle made by Thomas Davis.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
The Giants on 3rd down. They've converted 5 times in their many chances thus far. This is 3rd and 11. Now a handoff. This is Stewart. And he'll get inside the 40 to maybe the 38-yard line. Just a gain of 2 there, and it's going to bring up a 4th down.
That's what I'm talking about. Nice hit,
boy. Aldrich Rosas now to try the Giants field goal. This officially a 55-yard attempt. And he has got it from 55 yards away. That was never in doubt. These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that used to be such a big deal, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted, but I have a theory about it. You want to hear it?
Yep.
They are more athletic now than ever before. Talk about kickers. Trace their backgrounds, trace their histories. You'll find that they were big-time athletes all along, but their kicking was so prevalent that we made them specialists.
Well, and now those 50-plus yarders seem easy for some reason. After the field goal, here's Rosas to kick it away. Now it's Barner. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. Carolina getting set to take the field. And last time the turnover on the fumble, and they were in enemy territory, so that had to be very frustrating. Down on the scoreboard here, can't do it again.
You nailed every part of what was frustrating. Down on the scoreboard, had a drive going, had pushed it past the 50-yard line so they felt like they were in striking distance, and to come away with nothing, not a good feeling at all, to put it mildly. Now they can't afford to do that again.
Yeah, now can they get that bad taste out of their mouth here? So Newton and the Panthers come up now 1st and 10 at their own 27. Here's Newton. This one complete to Curtis Samuel. And he gets this up to the 34 out of bounds there. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3.
Hey, we're gonna set. 180. Look at it.
Out of the gun, Newton. Quick slant, caught by Moore. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. And the quick slant gets exactly 10, and by the nose of the football, they've got a first down.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
Newton now a perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. 1st and 10.
Set. 180.
The shotgun snap for Newton. And right with it here over the middle. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first. So the drive takes them into Giants territory now. 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. Newton throwing again. Incomplete. Ball on the 42 as they come up 2nd and 10. Second and 10, Newton again. And this is going to be caught. He won the fight for the football. 23 yards on the play. Now a run with McCaffrey. And he'll get this down only to the 18. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
If you're looking for glory, looking to get your name in the headlines, you do not want to play nose tackle. But how about what we just saw there? The ability to hold people up, take on extra blocks, and actually slip them and make a tackle on that play. That's big time.
Cam's going to run the option right. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. That one will go for 9 yards and a first down on the keeper.
Well, if you're going to run the read option, typically, you've got to keep an eye on the defensive end.
And what does that mean? What are you looking for with a defensive end?
Well, you want to play off of what he does. If he collapses inside towards the running back, then you pull it and take it yourself outside in. If he stays outside, you go ahead and leave it with the running back. In this case, pulled it and got good yardage himself.
Someone moved. Flag is out. That's going to be 5 yards.
And that'll drive coaches crazy. You work all week on dealing with loud crowds, on dealing with motion, and then you have a guy jump.
That false start knocks them back behind the 10 now as they'll try again. 1st and goal. They'll run it now with Barner. And they get to him quickly here as he stopped right around the 13. Josh Morrow on the stop. Still a ways from the end zone as they come up now on 2nd and goal. They'll try the air now with Newton. Funches with a catch over the middle. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. Only 3 yards there on the completion. That'll lead to a 3rd and goal. This has been a long drive. You got to figure a field goal would be a letdown. Can they convert now on 3rd and goal? False start's going to push him back, but these days, how hard must it be to be an offensive lineman?
It's very hard, Brandon. You've got defensive linemen flinching, trying to draw you offside. You've got the loud crowds, and there are just so many super athletic players on defense now that you have to deal with each week. But through it all, these guys just sit in there for 4 quarters and slug it out.
A bad time for a false start penalty as they're backed up now for 3rd and goal. McCaffrey. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. They do get 12, but they'll be marked short. And that leads to a 4th down.
Another stop on 3rd down, and this defense still hasn't allowed a touchdown to this point.
So out comes the field goal team once more. This is less than an extra point, just a 19-yard attempt. And Gano's kick is right through. And high fives for that one as that drive ends in 3. Well, in the grand scheme of things, those 3 points likely not going to matter much, but I guess they get a little closer, a little more respectability.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been outplayed all game long, but like my mom used to tell me all the time before I went out, dress up a little bit, son. Make yourself respectable. And that's what they're doing here. They're just dressing up the final score.
So still lots of work left to do, but here comes the onside kick. And this is going to be covered up by the Giants. The risk reward of the onside kick. When you don't get it, the risk comes out to play, and here they gave up great field position.
And that's the key to everything, because you're trying your best to press advantages when you have them, And field position leads you to that type of play calling, and whether you want to blitz or whether you want to throw the ball deep, those types of things. Now that they've given up that type of field position, the advantage is switched to their opponent.
The handoff comes to Stewart. And he's going to be met at about the 43. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. And some good tackling there as he stopped up at about the 41. Stop made there by Julius Peppers. Time for a break. This one, all over but the shouting. We'll finish it after this. So it's Giants football here as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. The first down line at the 34 here on 3rd down. Manning. And he finds a man with a crossing route. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down.
Then we got to give a little tip of the cap for the defense there. Zone coverage, locked it in tight, made it really difficult because they tried the crossing route against it, and it worked for a completion, but you have to know where the sticks are on 3rd down. Didn't get beyond them, no pickup.
And that is no good. And this score will stay right where it is. So distance not the issue there. He had plenty of leg to get it there. It's that darn upright getting in the way.
Always gets in the way of a good time, doesn't it? Because he hit it square, too. Sometimes you can bank one in if you get it on the end of the football. No such luck there for him.
Here's the Carolina offense as they get ready to take over here. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride?
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time. But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10. From the gun, here's Newton. Throws a quick hitter on the slant. That's complete. And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags.
Personal foul, face mask, defense.
So they'll take the yardage and tack on 15 more for the face
Automatic
mask.
first down.
Talk about a play that absolutely costs you in the end. Just trying to do your job, right? Trying to get him on the ground. Next thing you know, they'll march off another 15 against your squad.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. Now Newton on 1st down. And caught left side, Olsen. And he's going to get this inside the 30. 12 yards there as they move the chains. Now you've got to hustle your guys to the line and get them set. Now a 1st down throw for Newton. toward the left sideline, but it's incomplete. He was trying to get that one into the hands of Christian McCaffrey. That'll bring up second down. Second and 10 now from the 27. Back to the air, Newton on second down. And now another turnover as this one's intercepted. Picked off at the 23, the 30, the 20. And he will bring it back. It's a pick six and a Giants touchdown. Defensively, they've had their way in this one. That pick six makes that scoreboard even more lopsided.
I remember talking with a guy in the league, and I said, what are you doing when the game's like this? You know, it's pretty much over. You ready to go to the bench and hang out? He said, oh, heck no. I want to stay on the field. I might get some stats. I might get a pick or two.
You like being out there at the end of these wide margins.
When they have to throw it, that gives you more opportunities to go get it.
Rosas now to add the PAT. Rosas good with the extra point, and that will extend this big lead. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. Now it's Barner. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. Carolina getting set to take the field. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest.
Don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo going forward.
Exactly. Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it, because
you're not going to want that feeling again.
No, you don't want that feeling again. And who knows? You may meet up with this team again.
Now whistles. Flag down, and I believe one of the Panthers got moving early.
False start, offense.
The false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. Operating from the gun. Newton. Over the middle, complete. It's right. They get a good chunk of that penalty yardage back. A gain of 15. Second down. And he went in route there from the slot for the completion.
Love how he runs his routes, because it's all setting up your defender. Give him a little something one way, take it the other way. Head and shoulder fake. Sometimes you make one step to the outside, then break it inside. Really well run route.
One last throw here for Newton. He throws and he hits the slant route to Thomas. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory. And the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week. We'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points. Allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports. The Giants are winners as we say so long from MetLife Stadium.